staff. Okay, right. First off, I'd like to thank my fellow councillors. It's like Groundhog Day for entrusting me with the role of mayor of our beautiful town. Purposely, sir. It's been a great assignment, and thank you also to the staff and officers of East Grinstead Town Council for your support throughout the year. Very importantly, though, I want to give a huge thanks to Kirsty. Where are you, Kirsty? You need to come through that door. Come up here, please. Kirsty's been absolutely brilliant this year, helping Maria and me every step of the way, keeping things organised, relieving the good citizens of East Grinstead with their hard-earned cash for our events, and always with a good sense of humour as well. So I've got a little gift here. Thank you very much. Okay. We also had, Maria and I had a little committee of friends who've been amazing this year. Tim Burberry, who, are you here, Tim? He's not here yet. I was in. Oh, Tim, hello, mate. Tim rather foolishly agreed to ride 82 miles around Sussex with me for the Mayor's Big Ride a few weeks ago. Thank you for that. And also, Louise, thanks to Louise, Alice, Chris, Grant, and Sarah. Thank you all so much, guys, for everything. You can all breathe a sigh of relief. You don't have to sell any more raffle tickets ever again. Thank you also to the wonderful Sophia and Olivia, my two daughters, for all your help and support over the years, over this year. And yes, you're also welcome to duty as well, so. And then Maria, I'm going to get into trouble for this because she said, don't say anything about me. Maria, what can I say? Thank you for being so incredible this year, quietly planning behind the scenes, making sure everything ran smoothly, and somehow managing to look effortlessly glamorous at every event. I couldn't have done this without you, darling. I'll be forever grateful. Thank you very much. And I lost count the amount of times that people came up to me and said, "Oh God, your wife's so beautiful. Her hair's amazing." Anyway, I've got something for you here. Okay. I also want to say a very big thank you to the whole team at Being Neighbourly. We've got quite a number of them here tonight, so thank you for coming along. They really embraced the idea of a community trishaw, believing in me to help make it happen as well, particularly Fiona, who embraced the vision from our initial meeting, David and the trustees as well, and not forgetting Andy, Big Andy, who collected a trishaw from Hurstby Point whenever we needed in his van. Thank you, Andy. I've always described the trishaw as a community trishaw, and it's not only because we'll be taking members of the community outdoor mini adventures, but also because it literally, the whole community of East Grinstead has contributed to us being able to bring the trishaw to East Grinstead. So I'm really grateful to everybody in town. So thanks to everyone who's donated to the trishaw fund. And I'm delighted to announce that we've raised a total of £25,015 over the year. So I'd like to invite Fiona, if I can get Fiona up to the front here to accept the check. Where are you, Fiona? Oh, you're there. Fantastic. Right. Anyone got a camera?
I'm completely in a state of shock. Oh, see. Okay, just a very few words. Basically, Steve, you've been an amazing mayor, and Being Neighbourly are so proud that you asked us to take your vision for East Grinstead community, trishaw, sustainable reality. It's been an honour to work with you over the last year. Your drive, energy and passion are second to none. But importantly, your insight and compassion for the needs of our residents and neighbours is extraordinary. I'm getting emotional. Thank you from our hearts. And I'm just going to pass to David because he may have a little.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks for your hugely remarkable fundraising work and whoever you had who's been able to order the trishaw. It's on its way during July.
Thank you, mate. Thank you, we had it too. Fantastic. Okay. Tissues, are they ready here? Honestly, folks, this has been the greatest year of my life. It really has. I've loved every second of every minute of being your mayor. I've been so lucky too as well because this year has been bookended by two significant events, not just for East Grinstead, but also for the whole country, the D-Day commemoration and last week, the VE Day celebration. And in between those two historic moments, there's been a sprinkling of so many treasured memories. I won't go on, I'll be here a long time, but meeting Chelsea pensioners, East Grinstead becoming European champions in Bourg de Péage, lighting the beacon twice and almost setting my suit on fire. The spontaneous moment of waving the Union Jack on the stage, the Union flag rather, on the stage in Mindelheim with our very own Umpar band playing in the background. After a couple of Steiners, I'm not going to lie. Remembrance Sunday was fantastic, and singing Sussex by the Sea with Her Grace, the Duchess of North. Watching Oscar and Kane, our two litter-picking guys, switch on the Christmas lights. And then, more recently, the honour of reuniting the Sussex Regiment with our own 101-year-old World War II veteran, John Croft. Standing next to him, also singing I Vow to Thee My Country in Westminster Abbey, was a moment I'll never forget, and of course followed by a second rousing rendition on King George's Field that same evening. These are just a few of the highlights. As I said, I'd be here until next week if I went through the whole year, but my most treasured take from this year has been the people of East Grinstead and the power of community. Meeting so many of the outstanding members of the community, those who quietly do so much for others. It's been an absolute honour to recognise their contribution and thank them for all they do. We are a truly wonderful town, full of beautiful people with big hearts, people who are kind, generous and dedicated, along with our amazing businesses, clubs and organisations. It's been a privilege to serve as your mayor. I'm so very grateful to everyone I've met along the way. Thank you for making it such a special year. I really appreciate it. And now, reluctantly, it's time to pass the chain. I couldn't think of a better person. I couldn't think of a better person to take over. He's someone who I value and esteem greatly. JB is a great friend, and it's also a good job John is a well below average golfer as well, because that's the reason I'm standing here tonight. And so bringing this year full circle back to my acceptance speech last year, if he hadn't hit such an horrendous slice off the third tee at Royal Ashdown in 2018, the shot's so disgustingly bad, everybody, that even the birds and the fauna of the forest turned away in shame. They even offered him a minute's silence in commemoration for the shot. If it wasn't for that really disgustingly bad shot, I wouldn't be standing here. John, you're going to be a brilliant man. Thank you for all your support this year as well. I'm excited about the year ahead for you. And now that I know what I know, you're in for an unforgettable ride, mate. Enjoy every minute, my friend. Congratulations. To formally get this show on the road for you, John, I'd like to propose the incoming town mayor for 2025-26 as Councillor John Belsey. May I have a second for that nomination?
I'd like to second that, the last one for you.
Thank you very much. May I have a show of hands to approve? Thank you very much. Excellent. John, if you'd like to please read out and sign the declaration of office, please.
I, John Edward Belsey, having been elected to the office of Town Mayor of the East Grinstead Town Council, declare that I take office upon myself and duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to observe the code as to the conduct which is expected of members of East Grinstead Town Council today, 13th May 2025. Thank you everyone for your faith in the applause just now and for the faith of my fellow town councillors. It's an honour to be your mayor for the forthcoming year. And I will be setting out in a few minutes some of my charities and aspirations for the forthcoming year. But I think before we do, I would like to just pay tribute to Steve, Councillor Steve Odier, former town mayor, who I can tell from the love in the room for him what a great mayor he's been over the past 12 months. So I'd like to formally put on record, Steve, if I may, congratulations to you on what's been an outstanding mayor year for yourself, for Maria, and to your family, but not just for your family, for the whole community, as you represent the town, the role of town mayor so well for the whole of East Grinstead. You've already mentioned some of the highlights of your year, but a quick trawl of your, it's not a quick trawl, look at your Facebook posts of this last 12 months, show how busy you have been wearing that shirt at so many civic and community events. You mentioned that once at the beginning, right through to this weekend with the VE80 celebrations, the triathlon you were at, and much more besides. And we know how passionate you are about cycling, and alongside your mayorship, you've continued to develop the critical mass and the other cycling initiatives that I know you will continue to do to ensure that they continue to thrive within the town. I'd also like to thank you personally for the support that you've given me. I don't remember that golf shot, by the way. I definitely don't remember that. But I know you've supported myself hugely as Deputy Mayor and all of our council colleagues. You and Maria couldn't have done any more to offer us support, and you've already offered me very kindly support for this coming year, and I will be taking you up. So thank you very much. I'm sure all of us as councillors are grateful for your friendship and for your councillor and community wisdom and support. Thank you very much. I really don't think there's any more you possibly have done. And we have been privileged, I think, around this table. There's many good mayors been there, but you have been absolutely brilliant, and you're a very hard act to follow. It serves the town so well. There's an awful lot of footsteps to try to follow, but I will try to do my best, as you know, to serve our town as well as you have. Thanks, Steve. I'm conscious that a lot of people might not know who I am. So my name is John Belsey, and although I'm not originally from East Grinstead, I did move here just over 30 years ago from London. I've managed to shake off that Cockney accent, but when I came down not knowing a soul in East Grinstead, I've been really warmly welcomed into the town, and never in my wildest imagination did I imagine that one day I would end up wearing the East Grinstead mayoral chain, which I do today with immense pride. I've been fortunate through work and life in general to have been able to visit many places in the world, and there is nowhere quite like East Grinstead. It's our super town with high street, fabulous architecture and history, and of course, Steve's already referred to our amazing community, many of whom here tonight representing various clubs and groups. And I'm sure wherever we go in the world, when we come back, there's always a nice, comforting and reassuring air to be back in our hometown of East Grinstead. Look, just briefly set out my own councillor journey, if I can, a very long time ago, when I got selected to stand for the ward of East Grinstead North, which no longer exists, for Mid Sussex District Council last century. It was 1999, but I love it. To my surprise, I got elected with a majority of 19 votes, which doesn't sound very much, but my fellow ward colleague got elected with 6. And so by a very small margin, my own councillor journey began. Rolling the years forward, following my accounting career, we come to the run-up to the 2015 elections, and ready and keen to enter the political fray, I was selected to stand for the seat of Ashurst Wood in Mid Sussex District Council after our former councillor Steve Barnett was stepping down. Again, I was fortunate enough to get elected, and genuinely becoming councillor for Ashurst Wood has really changed my life. In lots of ways, and mostly for the better. So, the thing with Ashurst Wood is, it's a very lovely village, but it isn't quite big enough to have a whole district seat to itself. So I have the most rural part of East Grinstead added to the seat to make it large enough so that it could stand as a standalone district seat. So I was only district councillor, but when it came to 2019, someone said to me, John, you're already the district councillor for this ward. Why don't you become the town councillor as well? You already hold the seat. You do all the work for it. It won't be any more work for you at all to stand. And of course, we know how wrong but I haven't looked back since, and even now still represent a district in town, Ashurst Wood and East Grinstead South, and I'm very privileged and fortunate to do so. For those of you that don't know East Grinstead South, it's the area, the rural part of East Grinstead from Turners Hill Road up, with the new Manor View development, alongside the Tip, which is one of the landmarks within the ward, but fortunately it also has Kingscote Railway Station and Kingscote Vineyard, as well as Standard. So I'm sure it will be a very beautiful part of East Grinstead, one that I'm extremely proud to represent. And just a final point on my council journey. It means a lot to me that I'm actually the third town councillor to represent the Belsey family on East Grinstead Town Council. My father, Edward, was first elected onto the council over 20 years ago, and he served a term on the town council alongside several terms as a district councillor. Following Edward, my mother Margaret was elected onto the town council, and of course she still sits as one of our town councillors this evening. Mum served as mayor with distinction in 2013-14, and it's a huge privilege for me, a decade later, to put on the chair this evening and to become the mayor of our town, a position that my family holds so dear, and I know my father would be extremely proud this evening. Over the years, I've come to know and love East Grinstead well, and have taken part in lots of community organisations, many of whom who are represented here this evening. I've been lead governor of the Queen Victoria Hospital, fantastic facility in our town with outstanding patient care. I know many of us have strong connections to the hospital. I currently chair East Grinstead Tennis and Squash Club, and I'm fortunate some members of our club have turned out to support me this evening, so thank you very much. I also have a few roles in Ashurst Wood, including being the lead governor of the primary school, and I've been fortunate to make some great friends in the village through our community events. And again, I'm very grateful for those of you coming over from Ashurst Wood this evening to support me. And I don't mind if there's a little bit of a whoop from my Ashford Wood and East Grinstead friends. I'm just. Yeah, I kind of not normally so reserved. I think it's because the wine, the wine hasn't happened yet. We will hear later in the evening the hubbub from there. So thank you also to those who come to join me with my other hat, my family, my brother and his wife, and my nephew Arthur, who are joining us this evening. Thank you for coming to support, and also my friends from other parts of life. You all know who you are, and I'm very, very grateful for you to take the time to come and support me at the Town Council this evening. It's lovely to see so many people at the Town Council meeting. You're all welcome back at any time to any of our meetings. It would be lovely to see some of you during the course of the civic year. And so to my charities, for which I'll be fundraising for this evening. I'll be fundraising for 2 charities, although I am not at all setting a target of anywhere near the superlative target that we've managed for being neighbourly. That's an absolutely fantastic achievement. And did more how much you managed to raise, and I'm not setting a target. But I know how much you work to raise that funds, and it's really well deserved. So the first charity won't be a big surprise to anybody that knows me well, because I have now for 10 years served as a volunteer trustee and previous chairman of Age UK East Grinstead District, who will be one of my 2 charities I'm nominating this year. In particular, we're looking to really develop our dementia service. There is a strong need for dementia respite care in the area, and ideally we'd like to be running a 5 days a week respite service for dementia sufferers and their families. Age UK has been based in East Grinstead for over 75 years, now based in Glenview Railway Approach, and it's an independent local charity that uses the National Age UK brand as a brand partner, but does not have access to their national funds. So we have to do all our own fundraising. With an ageing population, we really need charities that are focused on allowing people to live independently for as long as possible, for them to have places or activities to be able to socialise with friends, and also to combat what I feel is one of the most unspoken issues in our society today, that of loneliness amongst people, particularly older people. That's what our charity is set up to do, and monies raised will go to support the dementia service and allow us to have other events such as memory cafes with speakers, exhibits, etc., to really stimulate those attending. Really look forward to supporting Age UK this year. And the other charity I am nominating is East Grinstead District Scouts. I was not a scout myself because I was too busy playing chess as a child and studying. My life as a child was a bit like the Queen's Gambit. It's no joke, people really watching that just brings back childhood memories. But I can see what fine, upstanding many members of the community go on to achieve following their scouting activities. I was fortunate enough already to be presenting awards on Sunday as a deputy mayor, and saw firsthand through Rowan, who's here this evening as one of the previously young leader, and Heather, Sarah's here as well. Strong Scout connections, and I can see how our young leaders really grow through their time in the Scouts. In particular, I would like to be supporting the young leaders within the Scouting movement. We currently have 49 young leaders in East Grinstead District Scouts. There are 14 to 18-year-olds who are Explorer Scouts, who have chosen to provide leadership in our 9 Scout groups in East Grinstead. They work alongside our adult volunteers in squirrels, beavers, cubs, and scouts. They have their own recognised training scheme, working towards their national belt buckle, and overall across the district, East Grinstead District Scouts, we currently have approximately 800 members. We would love to develop the young leader section further, to give them their own identity, so Scout scarves, name tapes, flag, annual awards, and to be able to offer them additional support for adventure skills training. Things like archery, water-based activities, climbing, which can be really expensive to do, but which is vital for them to be able to gain their training experience. So that is going to be my other charity that I will be looking to support. And alongside that, it's not just the fundraising. I would like to try and support these organisations with some of their hopes and aspirations. So an example would be, if at all possible this year, I would like to work with the town council to see if we can bring back the St George's Day Parade, which is used to be very popular, but hasn't happened for some years because it always clashes with the vintage bus day. But hopefully we can find room in the calendar to be able to achieve that. So they're my two charities, but I would also just like to draw people's attention just to one other area, which is going to be an area of focus for myself. I'm an enthusiastic sports player, not too strong at any of them, possibly tennis. After I've beaten Connor a few times, I get better. But alongside the charity work, I will be looking to work with sports clubs, schools, and organisations, particularly regarding youth sports participation and especially female participation in sport. I've heard from some parents how hard it can be to find a pathway for girls in sport, and I know things are changing and getting better. If we can identify any gaps in pathways and improve openings for girls in sport, I'll be really pleased to do so. Where there are boys fixtures, why can't there be girls fixtures, and so on. So I'd like to leave the year with a more secure platform for girls in sport. And accordingly, you may see sports clubs or sporting associations with stands at some of their raising fundraising events, noting opportunities for our youth. Other than that, I look forward to supporting many of the civic events. There's a well-trodden path of events around our town, and many of them are very joyous and really well-attended occasions. So I look forward to crossing paths with many people in this room at those events throughout the civic year, and I know I will be supported by the Deputy Mayor in this respect. So when that nomination is done, I look forward to working with the Deputy Mayor to do this. I look forward to working with everyone over the next 12 months. Thank you again for all your support this evening. It really does mean a lot to have you all there. From whichever walk of life we've met, I look forward to us working together in 2025. And I'm going to close my comments again with a big thank you to Councillor Steve Odie, who's been the most fantastic town mayor, and I have the honour to present him with the Mayor's Jewel. I do also have some gifts for the ladies on behalf of the councillors. He's been so good, everyone couldn't wait to give them money. So thank you for everyone's contributions, and Steve enjoys his gifts. Okay, we now go on to the other items on the agenda. So item 2 on the agenda is to appoint a deputy town mayor for 2025-2026 civic mayor year. Do I have a nomination?
Yes, I would like to nominate Councillor Sophie Reed. Can I have a second?
I'm happy to second that, Tom.
Correct, thank you very much. Are there any other nominees? Or can I show of hands to approve? Congratulations, Stephanie. Well done.
So Councillor Reed, congratulations on becoming deputy mayor. Would you like to join me to sign the declaration and accept your badge? Okay, we have got just a few more agenda items. Mostly, they should be quite short, so we won't keep you in your seats too long, I hope. But we will just go through those items now. So, item 3, apologies for absence. Hands up. We have apologies from Councillor Visser and Whitaker. Are we happy to accept those apologies? Can I just have a show of hands, please? These are accepted. Item 4, to receive any declarations of interest in relation to the agenda. Do I have any declarations of interest? There are none. Okay, item 5, confirm the minutes of the Town Council held on 7th of April 2025. These have previously been circulated. I assume they've all been read. I'd like to propose them as a true record of the meeting. Do I have a second? Thank you, Deputy Town Mayor. Does anyone have any questions? If not, all in favour, show of hands. I'm just signing the minute. And so just to say to everyone, if they don't want to stand, they don't have to stand. It just makes it a bit cumbersome if you're wearing. You don't, whether you're proposing or seconding. It's up to the individual. Item 6 is to receive a notification of any updated councillors' register of interest. No extra declarations. A reminder to all councillors that their declarations must be reviewed regularly and any changes notified the town clerk with a completed and updated form. Item 7 is to resolve to appoint the leader of the town council for 2025-26. I would like to propose Councillor Farron continues as the leader of the council for 25-26. May I have a second? Thank you, Councillor Reeves. Thank you. Are there any other nominations? I see none. So I would like to congratulate Councillor Farron on remaining. Can we just have a show of hands? Thank you. And I'd like to congratulate Councillor Farron on being talented for the coming year. And thank you very much for all the work you've done as leader in the last 12 months. Item 8 is for noting, to note that the leader of the opposition will change from Councillor Barnett. Thank you for all you've done over the last year, Councillor Barnett, and the new leader of the opposition will be Councillor Mockford. Congratulations, Councillor Mockford, and we look forward to working with you over the coming 12 months, and thank you for all your support. Okay, item 9 is to confirm the eligibility and approve the continued use of general power of competence, GPC. The criteria for the GPC is defined in section 8 of the Localism Act 2011, which means we must have an appropriately qualified clerk, at least 2/3 of the council being elected in order to remain eligible for the continued use of GPC. This is met by the council, and thus I'd like to propose we continue use of the general power of competence. May I have a second for that, please?
That's on it.
Thank you, Councillor Reeves. Could I just have a show of hands for everyone in favour, please? Thank you. Item 10 is to receive a report of councillors' attendance at meetings of council and standing committees during 2024-25 civic year. It's previously been circulated as Appendix A. Can we note those as a true record? Thank you. Item 11 is to note the following amendments to standing orders. I'm just apologising in advance to people in the audience. This is a little bit dry, but then we'll get motoring again. Section 4.E.4 to include appointments of vice chair of committees. Changes to 18.8.5, 18.C, 18.D and 18.F in line with updated procurement legislation and to align with financial regulations. Section 14 updated to better reflect code of conduct requirements, with 14A, 14B and 14C removed. Overall language updated to gender neutral terms. And I'd like to propose we adopt these updated standing orders. May I have a second for this? Thank you. Could I have a show of hands for everyone in favour? Thank you. Item 12, consider and approve adoption of the standing committee terms of reference circulated with the agenda. I'd like to propose we adopt these standing committee terms of reference, which outline the roles and responsibilities of each standing committee. May I have a second for this? Are there any comments in respect of this? In which case, all in favour through a show of hands, please. Thank you. Okay, item 13, to consider and approve adoption of the updated scheme of delegations circulated with the agenda. I'd like to propose we adopt this scheme of delegation, which includes the definition of the role of the leader of the town council. May I have a second for this? Thank you, you're doing a great job, councillor. Any comments in respect of the update, in which case, all in favour through a show of hands, please. Thank you. Okay, item 14. Review the standing committees for 25-26. Members to serve on the committees. To elect the chair and vice chair of each committee, noting that the town mayor and deputy town mayor are in addition ex officio members of each committee. A. So we've dealt with Environmental and Sustainable Travel Committee. The following 7 members are nominated to this committee. There's no need to stand for these conversations, but the 7 are Councillor Gibbs, Mockford, Odie, Peacock, Pond, Scott, and Bisson. May I have a second? Great. All in favour of those committee? That's the committee. That's carried. I would now like to nominate Councillor Odie to be the chair of that committee. May I have a second?
If a change, I'd like to see.
Are there any other nominations? Is anyone in favour? Can be done through a show of hands. Congratulations. Congratulations. You are the chair of that committee, Councillor Odie, and I now turn nomination to the vice chair.
Thank you very much, Tony. I should like to propose Councillor Peacock to be the vice chair. And a second.
I'll second. Chair.
Great, thank you. I should like to remind the committee that when our next meeting is the 20th of May. Thank you.
Thank you. So the next committee is the planning committee. The following 7 members are nominated to serve this committee. Councillor Barron, Gibbs, Godwin, Mockford, Odie, Scott and Whittaker. May I have a seconder for that committee, please? Thank you. All in favour? Show of hands, please. Thank you. I'd like to nominate Councillor Gibbs to be the chairman of the planning committee. May I have a seconder for that, please? Thank you, Councillor Godwin. Are there any other nominations? Is everyone in favour of Councillor Gibbs? Thank you, Gibbs. I now turn nomination of the vice chair over to yourself.
I'm here. Let's stand. I'm not sure. Thank you very much, Town Mayor, and congratulations to you. I would like to propose Councillor Godwin to be my vice chair. Can I have a second? Very much, Councillor Odie. Are there any other nominations? Can we take a vote on? I would like to remind the committee that we are meeting the planning committee next week, Tuesday, 20th of May, And also that members, according to the standing orders, members on the planning committee which to serve as substitute on the planning committee need to do the relevant training if they have done so. So if you need to be, please do make yourselves known to the town clerk. Thank you very much.
Thank you, councillor Gibbs. Public Services Committee, the following 7 members are nominated to serve on this committee. Councillors Barnett, Councillor Ms Belsey, Gibson, Pond, Reeves, Visser and Whittaker. May I have a second for that committee? Beautifully done, Councillor Reeves, thank you. I would like to nominate Councillor Reeves to be the chair of that committee. May I have a second? Thank you, Councillor Brown. Are there any other nominations? Okay, can we vote on Councillor Reeves becoming chair? Congratulations, Councillor Reeves. I now turn nomination of the vice chair over to yourself.
Thank you, Town Mayor. I'd like to propose Councillor Whittaker to be my vice chair. May I have a second? Are there any other nominations? If not, are we all in favour? Lovely, thank you. I should like to remind committee members that we are next meeting on the 3rd of June at 7 p.m.
Thank you, Councillor Reeves. Amenities and tourism. The following 7 members are nominated to serve on the committee. Councillors Barnett, Mrs Belsey, Barron, Godwin, Hughes, Mockford and Peacock. May I have a second? Thank you, Councillor Reeves. Is everyone in favour of that? For a show of hands? Thank you. I would like to nominate Councillor Godwin to be the chair of this committee. May I have a second? Thank you, Councillor Hughes. Are there any other nominations? There are none. All in favour of Councillor Godwin taking on the committee? Thank you very much, Councillor Godwin, and congratulations. I now turn the committee over to you for the election of the vice chair.
I have proceeded with the election of a vice chair. I'd like to propose Councillor Hughes to be vice chair, and may I have a second?
I'll second that.
Are there any other nominations? All in favour? Very much. I would like to remind the committee that the next meeting will be the 17th of June.
Thank you, Councillor Godwin. And our final committee, Finance and General Purposes Committee, the committee will be proposed to the chairs. 4 other standing committees, Councillors Gibbs, Godwin, Odie and Reeves, plus the following 4 members, Councillors Barnett, Mrs Belsey, Barron and Gibson. May I have a second?
Second that, Town Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Reeves. Is anyone in favour of that nomination of the group? Show of hands. Thank you. I would like to nominate Councillor Barron to be the chair of the committee. May I have a second? Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Are we all in favour? Yeah, congratulations, Councillor Barron. And as chairman of that committee, I now turn nomination of the vice chair.
I would like to propose Councillor Margaret Belsey to be my vice chair. May I have a second?
No.
Thank you, Councillor Godwin. Are there any other nominations? Decree to approve. Thank you. I remind the committee the next meeting on the 20th of June. We shall review the annual town and be followed by a special council to sign them off. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Barron. The next item is to note the time of commencement of council meetings for the year 25-26. They start at 7 p.m. and the period of public question time is immediately prior to the commencement of those ordinary town council meetings, and the public question time will be up to 15 minutes. Members are also asked to note the dates of meetings are as approved at Council Minute 66 on 27th January 2025, and will then take place on Tuesday evenings. Is this noted? Thank you. Item 16, to nominate 5 members plus the town mayor to sign cheques on behalf of the town council. The nominees are the town mayor plus councillors Miss Belsey, Farron, Hughes, Mockford and Peacock. Thank you, Councillor Reeves, and could I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Pond. All in favour, through a show of hands, please. Thank you very much. Item 17, to appoint the following representatives to serve on the under-mentioned bodies for the 25-26 civic year. I should take a vote en bloc at the end of the list. Councillor Farron, could I ask you please to read the nominations? You, Michael.
Thank you, Town Mayor. I'm not going to stand this for longer. I would like to propose the nominations are as follows. East Grinstead Town Swimming Association, Councillor Bizzer. Mid Sussex Association of Local Council, Councillors Mockford and Whittaker. Age UK East Grinstead and District, Councillor Hughes. Friends East Grinstead Museum, Councillor Mockford. East Grinstead Music and Arts Festival, Councillor Belsey, the Town Mayor. Disability Access Group, East Grinstead and Area, Councillor Barnett. East Grinstead Society no longer wish a representation. East Grinstead Business Association, Councillor Whittaker. East Grinstead Fair Trade Town Steering Group, Councillor Scott. Mid Sussex Association of Town Council, the Town Mayor, the Leader of Majority Group, Leader of Minority Group, and one other. That be Councillor Belsey, Councillor Farron, Mockford, and Whittaker. Greenseed Talking News for the Blind, Councillor Peacock. Belbridge Beef and Faggot Trust, Councillor Mrs. Belsey. SAG Steering Group, Mid Sussex District Council will be officers. East Grinstead Sports Council will be Councillors Odie and Whittaker. East Grinstead Food Bank, Councillor Peacock. Community Rail Partnership, Councillor Pond. Also to note, Chequermead Theatre, the council appoints a maximum of 4 trustees. Current council trustees are Councillors Barnett, Farron, Hughes and Mockford. East Grinstead Museum trustee is Councillor Odie. He fills this seat and will continue to do so as he can step down from the role or ceases to be a councillor. Queen Victoria Hospital stakeholder governor is Councillor Mockford, who was appointed in 2024. I therefore propose as read the appointments to represent the council this year.
Thank you, Councillor Farron. Do I have a second for those nominations?
I'd like to second them as read.
Thank you, Deputy Town Mayor. Are we all in favour? Show of hands, please. Thank you. I'd also like to note with thanks everybody who served on our external committees last year. Item 18 is to consider the proposal from East Grinstead Memorial Estate to present their Unsung Hero Award at the Mayor's reception on an annual basis. The proposal made by East Grinstead Memorial Estate is that the Unsung Hero Award becomes an annual award, becomes an annual event sponsored by themselves and awarded at the annual Mayor's reception. If you're in favour of that, well, sorry, I'm proposing that. I'd like to ask for a second for that. Thank you. Would anyone like to comment on that proposal? If they're all happy to be in favour of that, then could we have a show of hands? Thank you. Item 19 of 20, so we're nearly there. I've just conscious a lot of people haven't got the agenda. I don't know where we are. So item 19, to note that details of the audit for the 2024-25 accounts will be reported to the Finance and General Purposes Committee on 20th of June 2025. Is that noted? Thank you. And item 20, to consider and adopt the updated complaints policy. This has been updated to show a more detailed process that will be followed in the event of a complaint about a council decision or staff member. Any complaint about a councillor will be referred to the monitoring officer. If you agree, I'm happy to propose this update. Could I ask for a second? Thank you, Councillor Reeves. Does anyone have any comments? Or are we all happy? If you're happy to support the proposal, please we have a show of hands. Okay, thank you very much. That does take us to the end of the meeting. Our next full meeting It'd be lovely to see so many of you here again. We'll be on Monday, the 1st of July, although we have a short, Tuesday, 1st of July, although there'll be a short special meeting on the 24th of June to accept these accounts. So the formal meeting is about to close, but we do have some refreshments, which has finally been brought up by Kirsty and the Town Council team. And please do help yourselves to the nibbles and the drinks provided. But before we do, could councillors please come over to East Court Mansion briefly for their annual photograph. Thank you very much for attending tonight, everybody, and I close this meeting at 7:55.